So again, this is similar to the first question in that it really highlights the fact that stuttering can be so variable, that we can see variability in stuttering between environments. We can see variability in stuttering over the course of a day. We can see variability over the course of a week. And as this little boy is experiencing extreme fluctuations month to month. So it sounds like this little guy is having a month or two at a time where he has what would be in that more severe end of the spectrum of stuttering. And then a month or two at a time where he might be either in the more mild end or by the sounds of it, it's not there much at all. So it is rarer to see this very extreme, they're gone type pattern, but it's not completely unheard of that can happen. And can be quite confusing as to know, well, do I keep going with these techniques even when it's not there? So it's almost easier when a child is stuttering the same way all the time, where maybe on a severity rating chart, they might be sitting at a 3 or a 4 all the time. However, it can be a really good sign neurologically if we are seeing fluctuation, because this means that neural pathway is quite malleable. And it also does give us the indication that pathway is potentially quite influenced by environment. So childhood is definitely not a time of a lot of stability in the sense of there are constant changes. We are, going through constant physical growth as a child. Children are constantly learning new things. Their body is growing at a rapid rate. Their brain is growing at a rapid rate. We have, leaps of development that happen sometimes week to week, sometimes month to month, but also environmentally, things can be quite variable. Children can go to different classes and have different friendships and have fallouts with friends, and things can be quite variable for children. So it's not uncommon to see environmental shifts and internal shifts creating big fluctuations and change in a child's stuttering severity. So when a child is stuttering more significantly, it can mean that our techniques and therapy that we're doing, the type that are described in Module 7, need to be very contained. So, for some children, if their stutter is very significant, we might only be able to help them to say 1 or maybe 2 words at a time to keep them fluent. And once they go over 1 to 2 words, they're going to start stuttering. And so that might sound something like in an activity, do you want the blue pen or the green pen? And they're going to say something like blue pen, green pen. We might get 2 words and that's fluent. However, if a child then moves into a more fluent period and they can say 10, 15 words at a time without stuttering, then the real challenge is in moving between our type of therapy being very contained to moving to a type of therapy that's very open. However, we don't want to stop doing the techniques and therapy just because we can see that a child is in a period of less stuttering. And so if a child wasn't stuttering at all for 2, 3, 4 months, and we had seen that number coming down steadily from maybe 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, all the way down, and then we had 2 or 3 months at a time where we weren't seeing any stuttering, we might actually start to pull back on those supports like I described in the previous question. But for this child, that wouldn't be what I would recommend, because by the sounds of their pattern, they have high numbers and then they have low numbers and then high numbers and then low numbers. So because we haven't seen that those therapeutic inputs have created neurological change, we're just going through that up and down pattern, which is typical for them. We can pretty much assume that if they're in a low period, that stutter is going to come back and it's going to go high again. So we want to be addressing it as if we are waiting for it to come back, because it's a very good chance that it will. And so when the number is high, we want to be providing daily input of those techniques in Module 7, and we want to be paying really close attention to what's going on in that child's environment and looking for potential overload. Is there, friendship issues going on at school? Is that child unwell? Are they having an allergic reaction to a food or an environmental thing that they're experiencing? What is going on for them environmentally that might be contributing to the fact that they are having these much higher numbers during this time? So we're paying really close attention. We're being stuttering detectives, really, and we're providing that daily input, which is likely going to be quite contained, maybe one or two words at the most per sentence or per utterance. When that child moves down into those lower numbers for weeks or even months at a time, we still want to be doing that. We still want to be providing a daily input. It's just that input's going to look really different. Instead of containing that child to maybe one or two words, it might be full big sentences and conversation, but we still want to keep that pattern in place to keep providing the fluency neurology some supports around it, and so that it's still in place for when that number goes high again. And I also would be recommending looking for, instead of triggers, looking for glimmers, which is what's going well, what's working for this child at the moment. Has their sleep improved? Are they, really healthy? Are their friendships in a balanced place? Are they exercising more? Have we gone on holidays and they're, not at school as much? Whatever it might be, having a look at that information and what it's telling you, because at the end of the day, it's all information that we can use to help us understand this child and understand what their neurological needs are, what their temperamental sensitivity needs are, and then what impact that is having on their stuttering. And so this would be a more challenging pattern to support, especially in those times where there is no stuttering happening or very low stuttering happening, because it can be really hard as a parent to keep motivated to do this work when we're not getting that daily reminder and that daily anxiety hit of, oh, there's something wrong here and I need to fix it. However, I really strongly recommend that you do keep going, even when it feels like, oh, I probably don't need to keep doing this. It seems to have gone away. If that pattern is showing you it goes away and comes back, goes away, comes back, let's hedge our bets and go, this is probably coming back. Let's keep doing this work and shift it how it needs to be shifted to suit this particular season. But let's not stop too soon, because the worst thing we can do with stuttering intervention is to stop too soon. We really want to see it out. We want to keep going until we can be really sure that that pattern has changed, that that neurology is stable, and that it's not coming back. And I would say for this child that any downward trend, I wouldn't be confident to say that that pattern has now changed. So until we can be more confident that that pattern has changed, just keep going and shift it how you need to, but don't stop.